So everyone just has to say got it. So hi everyone. I know you all, but I will introduce myself. My name is Tal Hazak Lowy, and I'm the executive director of Friends of the Children Chicago. You all have been supporters of Friends of the Children, which we're really grateful about. And you know, we're a professional mentoring organization, but I really am grateful that you're giving us just a bit of your time so we can share with you some of the stories that I get to hear. Here we go. That we get to hear in the office, but I really want to be able to share with you. So it is my pleasure to introduce you all to Phalon Carpenter. Phalon Carpenter was one of our professional mentors. She started with us about just over 3 years ago, and we recently promoted her to be our family and community engagement specialist. And so what I really want to be able to do is have Phalon share some of her experience on the work, because most of you have connected with me and you've heard me tell the story, but Phalon's the real hero who's doing the real work. And so welcome, Ron. We're happy to have you here. And so Phalon, I'd like to start by you telling us a little bit, first just focusing on your role when you were a professional mentor and a friend. The people on this call today received the email about Sabria, who just started reading. And if you could tell us a little bit about Sabria and your work with her, and then also a little bit about your work with Tiana, just to describe each of those girls and the work you did with them when you were their friends. And then if you can just pin Phalon, please, Emma.
Okay. So when I was a mentor and I had Sabrina and Tiana, Sabrina is a joy. Like she is a ball of energy. She loves to learn. She has progressed so much since being in the program. Before she got in the program, she went through a lot of difficult things. But since she's been in the program, I've seen her blossom. Like I've had her since kindergarten. She's in 3rd grade now. And just her personality and her spirit is so infectious. Like when you meet her, you can't help but to love her. Like she's just great. Like her energy and just our conversations and her wanting to learn. She wants to learn so much. And that's like an awesome thing, because getting into this job as a mentor, that was my goal, was to give back and to be that support for a youth who didn't have that support. And just seeing the progress that she's had over the years since I've had her is it's been amazing. She's she struggles academically, but I was able to meet with her school and her teacher, and we were able to get her an IEP, which individualized education plan, through the school. So they have to give her specialized attention. And since she's been in that program and she's had that IEP, she has progressed so much with her reading. She's in 3rd grade and she literally just started reading. And she's so excited that she can read. The last time I had her last week, she was just like, Miss Phalon, I can read. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you, because we read a book together, because she wanted to show me that she could read. So I pulled out a book and she read the book. It was one of those beginner books, and she read the whole thing by herself. And I was so proud of her. Like I just had to give her a hug, and she was just so excited that she was able to do it. And that just goes to show that when you have people there to advocate for kids to make sure that they get the services that they need, then it's beneficial. Because if no one was there advocating for her, she would still be sitting in 3rd grade, not knowing how to read and being angry and upset because she doesn't understand what's going on in the classroom. And then the school will label her as a problem child, or she's troubled. No, she's not troubled. She's not a problem child. She doesn't understand what's going on. So if I don't understand what's going on in the classroom, I may act out too, because I don't know what's going on. And now that she has that extra help, she has participated more in class. And I just love like the sparkle in her eyes. Like you can just see the difference and the confidence that it's given her being able to know how to read now. And I'm just like, I was so happy because I know where she was. Um, and just spending time with her and exposing her to different things, she is just like you would have to meet her just to understand like the type of kid she is and just the joy that she is to be around.
I'm going to interrupt you for one moment. Um, and so with both Sabrina and with Tiana, that you'll hear about in a bit, both girls really struggled in school. And one of the sources of their struggle was that there were issues with their caregivers. Um, we'll come back to Sabrina in a moment, but can you talk a little bit about Tiana and Tiana's challenges and sort of how much time you had to spend with the caregiver when you were her friend and what was going on there?
Tiana is another kid who's a joy. She has a great personality, and it's so much that she's missing out on because of her caregiver. Her caregiver requires a lot of help, and being in the new role, I've been able to deal more directly with her. When I was the mentor, it was like I was kind of working with both of them, so my focus wasn't always on the kid because the mother required so much attention. um this kid, like I said, she's very, her personality is just there. Like she wants to learn and she wants to go out, but her mother is like a stumbling block. Like she hasn't been to school at all this year, and last year she went to school for 7 days from September until the end of the quarter. And that's an issue that we've been dealing with her mother and the school district. The school has been working very hard to get them engaged. We've been working hard to get this youth to school, but the mother has so many issues outside that's affecting that. And we've been trying to work with the mother to help her work on the issues that she has so that she can allow her daughter to go to school and learn and socialize. And that's the one thing that's holding this kid back, is that her mother, she's in third grade and she doesn't know how to read. She doesn't know how to count. She she's just learning all of the alphabet, the letters and the sounds. Math, she's learning how to count, but she's in third grade. She'll be 10 this year, and she's so far behind. So it's like we've been doing everything that we can on our side to encourage the mother to get the youth to school. We've talked to the school about getting transportation. We've worked with the social workers. We've had outside testing done for this youth so that we know what her levels are, because she hasn't been to school. So no one really knows her full capabilities because no one has measured it. So we got outside testing done for that. So we were able to get that done and learn about her abilities. But now she has to get the services she needs so that she can be successful. And it's been a roadblock because mom does not want her to go to school for various reasons. Mom, we've encouraged mom to seek counseling. She's against counseling right now, but we're still working on that with her, and we're trying to help her get her health together. And it's an abundance of things going on with this family. And I think that if we were not present, I think the situation would be worse than what it is. And you may think like, how bad can it get? This kid's not going to school. But I think if we were in contact with them, it would definitely be a lot worse. At least with us, the kid gets some kind of socialization, and we can try to give them resources and try to help them, as opposed to them not being in the program and just this kid is just at home with her
So let,
mom.
yeah, so Tiana came into our program. We identified her when she was in kindergarten because she missed more than half the days of kindergarten. And Sabrina lives with her great aunt. Right before I wrote about it in the email, her mom left her and her siblings and has been in and out of her life. And they lived with her great aunt, who's a wonderful, loving woman who has a lot of accessibility issues in general. And when Phalon was just their friend, the professional mentor, and also when COVID started, the kids were great. They just needed a lot of caregiver support. And so Fallon, as a friend, spent a lot of times with the parents and caregivers. So with Sabrina's great aunt, whose name is Miss Katie, Fallon was teaching her at the beginning of the pandemic how to use technology. She never had a computer in the home, and all of her her great nieces and nephews she had at the home weren't literate yet, so they couldn't help use the computer. So Fallon spent a lot of time training Miss Katie, and they didn't have enough food in the home. She just got these 3 kids living with her, and so we spent a lot of time getting resources around her. And Tiana's mom, who loves her very much, keeps Tiana home because, like, for her own emotional needs. And so Fallon was spending a lot of time with mom because that was the best way to support Tiana. And what we realized that in order to do our work, we need to have somebody who's available to focus on the caregivers, to help the caregivers to the extent they're willing and able to partner with us to get help, so the friends can stay focused on the kids. And so we raised funding to create a new position called the Family and Community Engagement Specialist position. Because Fallon was so outstanding in working with our caregivers and is the best person in the world at finding every resource available in Chicago, we were proud to recently promote Fallon to become our Family and Community Engagement Specialist. So now when Sabrina or Tiana's caregivers have issues, Fallon's in the process of turning over her 8 girls to other friends that can work directly with the kids. But then Fallon is the one who the friends call on to work with the caregiver when they have needs. Fallon, I'm wondering if you can just share a few examples of things that you've done. You've been in your role now for just over a month. Some of the things you've done with other caregivers to support them when friends have turned to you to ask for help.
It's been this past month has definitely been a whirlwind, but I have been able to work with a few families. Have a family that was dealing with domestic violence. I was able to contact her, talk with her, connect her with a resource that can help her with her domestic violence issue. She chose not to go through the program. Instead, she said she wanted to try to work it out. So she asked if I could help her find therapy for her and her boyfriend. And I was able to connect them with therapy services, which they spoke with a therapist last week. They contacted the therapy center last week. So she texted me and said thank you because I possibly could save her life. She's like, this is life-saving for her. So, I still keep in contact with her and I touch bases with her and see how things are going. I had another family who experienced a fire. They lost everything. So we were able to connect them with resources, food, clothing. She ended up getting another apartment. So we were able to connect her with the furniture bank so that she can get furniture for the home. I had another family who was experiencing housing instability as well. I was able to connect them with an organization that's going to help them get housing. Yesterday, I contacted her about a couple weeks ago. It's an organization that offers comforters and blankets to low-income families. So I reached out to her and I told her about our program and our family. So she made a donation of 50 comforters and blankets with sheets for our family. So I was able to deliver those to our families that really need them. We have children who are sleeping on the floor, who sleeping in beds with no sheets, no comforters. So being able to do that was really big. The families really appreciated that. And I am always tell me to stop working, but I always tell her it doesn't feel like work when you're doing something that you love. So I'm always constantly looking for resources and activities, anything that can help our families and our kids, because I want this organization to feel like a community, like a family. So we're here to support just not our kids in the program, but the whole family. So I'm constantly emailing, researching anything I can get for my family. So yeah, it's really been, I'm really been diving into it. Like, this is my passion. This is what I love doing. So I do it even when I'm not supposed to be doing it. Tyler called me like, if you don't stop working, I'm like, it's not work for me. Like, I love doing this. So I'm gonna continue to, I gotta find a balance so that I have some time for myself. But I love what I'm doing. I love my families, and I just want to make sure that everybody is good. So I'm always looking for resources. I talked to the Alderman's office about the N95 mask, and I let my families know that they can go there to pick the mask up. We deliver food to our families on the regular. I'm getting coats, contacting people for coats. I do the annual Christmas drive where we get presents for all our kids and their siblings. And we're able to give the parents a gift card as well. So that's something that I love doing. I love Christmas. That's like my favorite holiday. So I want all our kids to experience a good Christmas. So anything that I can do to help my families, that's what I do.
And so I just want to say one last thing and then open it up if anyone has questions. But our families are incredible people. They're really, who live really, really hard lives. Our caregivers have lived really hard lives, and they're trying to do the best by their kids. And many of them have a lot of demons that have haunted them, because if they experienced a lot of trauma growing up and a lot of violence in their lives, that's going to play out in their lives, whether it's mental health issues, like we gave the example of Tiana's mom that is clearly depressed and lonely, substance abuse issues, or other issues. Many of our caregivers, we just had a caregiver who, since this is actually one of Phalon moms also, who wanted to get a better job, and she went to school to get a phlebotomy certificate. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A phlebotomy certificate. And so she's working to make these big improvements in her lives. And some of our caregivers, for whatever reason, may not have the energy, the wherewithal to make significant changes in their lives. But what we want to do is to make sure that the basic needs of the children are met, and that they can be engaged in their child's education and well-being, which they care so desperately about. And so Phalon is there to really partner with the caregivers so that, again, the friends can really stay focused and giving that positive, consistent attention to the children. So I just want to open it up to see if anyone has any questions, if there's anything that you're sort of still curious about that we can answer for you. Jeannie. We're only 2 years into the pandemic.
I guess I love that we are part of a national organization and there are chapters all over the country. How many chapters have family? I mean, I know nobody has somebody as amazing as Phalon, but how many chapters have family and engagement specialists, and how are you communicating and modeling for each other?
Such a good question. Thank you. So the family community engagement specialists, I think the first one, the Conrad and Hilton Foundation gave a big grant to the Los Angeles and New York chapters 2 years ago. And they started and they pitched it to them as the Conrad and Hilton Foundation as a 2-gen model that they would hire in New York and Los Angeles family and community engagement specialists to show that we're also working extensively with the parents and caregivers. I think during the pandemic, so we were the 15th chapter, there's now 25 chapters. Many chapters realized that our caregivers have very deep, extensive needs. So all chapters that have launched since 2020 have been launching and starting with a family and community engagement specialist. There's now, so all chapters, I think numbers 18 through 25 have family and community engagement specialists. And then we were one of the first, maybe the second, to create that position. And I think there's now 3 additional chapters that existed before 2020 that have family and community engagement specialists, and the rest are working to raise money to do that as well. Yeah. Excellent. So sorry, any other questions before I just sum it up? Wonderful. So as I hope I've conveyed to you all, our work is sort of, 2 steps forward, 4 steps back, half a step forward, it's a long dance, and it's why we commit to our kids the 12 and a half years. I want to thank Ron for really asking that we share more about success stories about kids that have completed the program, which you'll be seeing more of that as well. But it is the hard work that Phalon, together with now our friends working directly with the children, are doing day in, day out, that we're able to help these kids that have extraordinary potential overcome great obstacles so they can all thrive in society. So I just want to thank you all so much for spending this half hour with us today. And we look forward to being in touch with you. So thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And thank you, Phalon, for your
Thank
work.
you.
It's really inspiring. So I'm really appreciative to hear firsthand the good work that you're doing.
Thank
And
you.
the genesis of your transition. You're obviously so suited. It's a unique person that can deal with the administrivia of life and help a child simultaneously. So how lucky for the friends that they have you to transition into this position.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Okay, Kristen, I'm going to be in touch with you. Jeannie, you too. Take care. Bye, folks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.